Welcome to the Resistance broadcast, everybody. Happy 2026. It is going to be a pretty big year for Star Wars. We have another Star Wars movie finally coming out in theaters in just a little over 4 months with The Mandalorian and Grogu. So we are going to look a bit ahead to 2026 briefly at the end of this episode, but this is mainly a year in review. Oftentimes with this podcast, I'm John, that's Lacey, by the way.
Hi.
It's going to be more of a low-key episode today because it's more of a look back on 2025. And Lacey, at least with me, you know, being on this podcast, like sometimes when you're in it, you're not fully in body and like in your experiences. And then when you look back, you're like, I can't believe we went here, we did this, we talked to this person, we talked to that person. So it's just more of a look back on our year, which was certainly way crazier for the first half than the second half, but nonetheless, just another really fun, wild experience of a year for this podcast. And the first year with it just being the two of us, first full year. And yeah, so basically, you know, we're here to recap all that. So before I do that, how was your Christmas? How are your holidays? I know there's, you know, some children illnesses going around my house, your house, and all that stuff. But how are you doing? And how are your holidays?
My holidays were my holidays were great. Yeah, it was nice to just spend time with family. I did a lot of cooking. So I cooked my first ham ever. I did a whole ham, which I was pretty proud of. And then I made potato and ham soup from it. And I made egg and ham things. Look, it was delicious. It was in a crock pot. No.
Said egg and ham. So.
No. I made egg and ham casserole with like peppers and stuff. I'm saying I made potato and ham soup in a crock pot. It was so good. And then I made meatballs and I just made a lot of food. And my kids were sick. So, Archie was. And I felt really bad because he didn't get to go to Christmas Eve with our family or anything because he was so sick. But overall, it was just really fun. It was really nice. Santa came to our house, which is always a good thing.
Huge.
The kids made the nice list. That's always, you know, a worry towards the end there, but they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got a cool gift from you. I got a Labyrinth vinyl record, which I truly appreciate. It was
and from you, I got a pair of cars. That's how good this podcast is doing. I got Michael Keaton's Batmobile, and I got the Herbie the Love Bug Christmas ornament. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's funny, neither one of us got Star Wars gifts for each other, but
we didn't. But I felt like with Nerdy and Nice, and over the years in general, I've always heard about how you love that movie, and it's your favorite movie, if not favorite Disney movie, one of.
Yeah.
And so when I saw it at a toy show, I was like, I got to get this for him. And then I saw the Batman car and it has 1989 on the bottom. And I was like, oh, this is like legit. So then I got that too.
That 80s die cast. You can't replicate that.
Nope.
But yeah, no, thank you for that. And Happy New Year. It's
thanks.
Here we are entering another year of TRB.
I can't believe I feel like we were just talking about going to Japan and like doing all these things. And now we're like significantly past that. It's happening.
Now it's looking ahead to 2026, which we will divulge a little bit of what our tentative plans are for the year, probably at the end of the show. But first, Lacey, let's get to some a good order of business. We have to announce our email giveaway contest winner from our last episode, our Christmas live stream holiday episode. And just for a reminder for everybody, I don't know if you still have the image, Lacey, to pull up, but we had an email contest giveaway. There it is. Yep. So you get to pick any item from the TRB store. You get a bag of our coffee from weirdbrothers.com. They are amazing. So even if you didn't win, check them out and grab a cup. And that's it, right, Lacey?
You get a mug, any of the mugs that we made. I forgot the mug. And you get an item, a hat, and a mug from us.
I forgot the mug. Yeah, the mug for the coffee. Yeah.
Right. But, you know, if you want 2 hats and a mug, you could do that. We're just offering one of the hats, one of the items, and then the coffee to go with the mug. Yes.
Yeah, you want a couple hats? Get a couple hats.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't want people to be like, well, I'm really a hat guy. And I'm like, you can get 2 hats. That's fine.
So I first want to thank everybody who entered. We had a lot of people who emailed us
We
with the
did.
answers on that, and almost everyone was correct. So that's very cool, especially such a weird name. But a reminder on what the contest was: you had to email us over the course of 2 weekends ago now. I don't know, what is time anyway? With the answer to this question, which is, what is the name of the Star Wars character that gave Han his last name in Solo? And I'm happy to report that we put all the names in a hat, so to speak, and pulled out a winner. And the winner is Aaron McVeigh. Aaron wrote
Yay.
us and said, "Hello, TRB, and happy holidays. The name of the character who gave Han his last name in Solo, my favorite Star Wars movie, is Drod Munbrin. Thanks for the chance to enter the giveaway and for being one of my favorite podcasts. May the Force be with you." Thank you, Aaron. And
Oh,
congratulations.
congratulations, Aaron.
Fantastic work. Great job. A little luck, a little skill, just like Han Solo likes it. So, and thank you to everybody who entered. You know it's a new year for TRB, so happy New Year, everybody. You know there's going to be a lot more giveaways from us on the Resistance broadcast and our sister show, Nerdy and Nice, which we're excited to get more giveaways going for that. And check out Nerdy and Nice on its own podcast feed, of course, also on the TRB YouTube channel. But we're going to be having, we have our recap of this past year for Nerdy and Nice on that podcast feed as well, and our plans for that podcast in 2026. But Lacey, it's time to look back on 2025 for TRB. And I don't know if do you want to go like chronologically or just sort of chat about it and see what comes up?
How about your top 3 favorite moments
from the year? Wow.
Yeah. Top 3.
I mean, I think my top moment of the year was hanging out with Rob Coleman at the hub.
I think it was the hub.
The hub at the bar in Japan. That was just such a fateful, lucky turn of events, and spending the night hanging out with him and sharing stories. And I joked at the time when we did our Star Wars Celebration episode that it was one of my favorite podcasts we ever did, and it wasn't recorded, you know? So it's just just a really great experience there. Having a chance to chat with Christopher Ford and Mick Giacchino for Skeleton Crew on Galactic Goonies to wrap that up, to kick off 2025, was sort of like just a surprising, amazing turn of events, and I really love those interviews. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, or if you relate to the Skeleton Crew, be sure to check out our interviews on the podcast feed or the YouTube channel with the showrunner, writer, and co-creator Christopher Ford of Skeleton Crew, and the composer Mick Giacchino, who also, since that interview, won an Emmy for his work.
So amazing. I was so hyped when we got to email him being like, congratulations.
Yeah, so cool. And a third favorite moment, I mean, has to be Skywalker Ranch. I mean, that place still feels like it was a dream. It felt like we went through a wormhole to a different place. It just it's its own little slice of heaven or something. And it was such a beautiful day, and that whole experience, and the welcoming nature of the Skywalker sound team, and it was just a really incredible time. And I'm sure some of your answers might overlap with those, but I think I had to say those.
I think Rob is definitely my number one, just, and more specifically, not just like talking with him, which was fabulous, but like for me, top moments of the year were like very specific moments. So I think the moment that I recognized who he was in the bar, like, is ingrained, and like exactly I knew how I felt, what I saw, how he reacted, where I was like, you, and he was just like, whoa, what is happening? Like that was my favorite moment of the year. It was just so genuinely funny. I guess this is not in any order. Skywalker Ranch, I loved eating one of the best burgers I've ever had in my life in Skywalker Ranch, and then also telling you to sit where George Lucas's butt was, like, you sit there because that's
the same seat. That was cool.
And I mean, honestly, it was horrific, but still, absolutely memorable and hilarious. And I think one of the best reactions we've had from an episode was the Disney dinner that I booked. That
At Tokyo Sea.
An absolute disaster.
That was a
No,
wild one.
but that day in general, just with not including the dinner, which ultimately is a funny story to tell, but the day before that, like, was a dream. We went on every ride. We barely waited in lines.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. I don't know how we did it, but
That
it
was
was
really
really,
fun.
really great. And meeting those influencers at the beginning of the day when they were like, "Oh, you have to do this," and
Yeah.
we're able to get stuff for our kids, which is so fun. And they still play with those things all the time, Gelatoni
Mine
and
too.
Lena Bell. Yeah, it's moments like that, and like seeing everybody at Celebration is always a top moment for me, and hanging out with everybody at seemingly the hub became like the thing, the
It
place
was
to
the
be.
hub. Yeah.
I'm excited to see at the next Celebration what spot that will be. I think it's going to be Scum and Villainy, but who knows?
Yeah.
It's a really weird spot for a convention, I'm not going to lie. And hanging out with people in general is always really cool, but later half of the year, because I feel like a lot of our stuff this year was very front heavy in the
Yeah, it was.
beginning of the year, but the holiday party we just had 2 weeks ago was an absolute blast, and it was such a perfect way to end this year, and I was laughing the entire time. Like, I couldn't breathe sometimes. I was laughing so hard at you guys and how funny you are, and doing the trivia with you guys, and just talking about what you like about Star Wars, and why you are part of this community. It means a lot. And those are the things that, like, I cherish more than anything else, is like those moments where I get to hear from you guys and see how you're doing, and we get to laugh together, because there was a lot of laughing going on.
I agree. That was a lot of fun. I look forward to that every year. And maybe in 2026 we do more of those hangouts in addition to the watch alongs we do on Patreon. But yeah, like Japan, it was so crazy that I was in Japan, and like sometimes it's hard to like remember the fact that I was in Japan and that we went through that whole thing, like the 14-hour flights each way, and the chaos
It was
of those.
such a blur.
And I don't want to fully rehash because we did that on our celebration
We
episode. But
did.
you know, like little moments like obviously the Belgian crew, hanging out with those guys is always such a great time. And always one of my most look forward to things for celebrations is hanging out with them. Andy, Chris, and the whole gang. You know, going backstage at Celebration and people looking at us like, how'd you get back here? And it's like, don't worry about how we got back here. How'd you get back here? You know, but but also just having a good time. The baseball game was such a great time. Going to a
Oh my
professional
god,
baseball
the
game in
baseball
Japan
game was
so
so
amazing. The
You
karaoke
guys
we did late at night when we were all kind of dinged up and just having a good time.
You were, and I think some of our patrons
Oh
did.
yeah, for
You
sure.
guys were having a blast, and I was all about
Yeah.
it. Although it was like very embarrassing for me, and I'm never gonna live this down. You know, when you're like driving in your car and you think of something you did that was really stupid, and you're like, oh, and you have the like moment of like cringe.
Oh sure.
My moment was breaking the karaoke machine and putting the same song on like 6 times.
Oh yeah, what song? Do you remember what song it was? I don't
It was
remember.
Celine Dion.
Oh my. Oh, yeah, it's all coming back to me now or whatever.
It
Was
was
that it?
so bad.
Oh
I was
my
trying to
God.
make a stupid joke, and then I broke the machine, and they had to come in and fix it.
It's
It
all
was
right. We had
just
fun.
Do you have any
But
regrets, Japan, that you wish you did?
like things that I didn't do that I wish we did.
Yeah.
Not really. I know a lot of the TRB community did a lot of the sightseeing and hikes and those sorts of things
I wish I did Studio Ghibli. I really regret not doing it.
yeah, like, but I don't regret like not going to Mount Fuji or whatever. We saw it from a distance, and you know,
I
I
saw it
don't
over
feel.
there.
I honestly, there's a, and it's just me. Like, I don't feel the need to see things like that. You know,
You mean Mount
I don't
Fuji?
know. Yeah, like I don't like if I was in Paris, I wouldn't be like obsessive over seeing the Eiffel Tower or anything like
Oh, I
that.
would
Like,
be.
that's just not it. There's some
I
things
really
I
wanted
think
to do
maybe.
Studio Ghibli. I watched
Uh,
Howl's Moving Castle the other day, and I definitely was like, "Oh, I should have done that stupid tour. I'm an idiot."
Yeah, I think if there's anything, I don't have any regrets about Japan, but maybe like checking out more of the nightlife a little bit. I mean, we did, but we
We
spent a lot of
definitely
time
did.
at that one bar, really, at the hub
Yeah,
for the
I
most
would
part.
well, everything was reservation or closed. It
Yeah,
was really weird.
yeah,
I regret not having more egg sandwiches because they were delicious, and I
those were
regret
good.
not having more of those ice cream sandwiches. I got an ice cream sandwich like after that at Spencer's party, which was a blast.
Bunta Eve,
Spencer's
yeah.
yeah, Boonta Eve party. I went to the 7-Eleven and I was like, "I need to get an ice cream sandwich," and I went and got an ice cream sandwich, and I ate it in my bed, and it was the best ice cream sandwich I ever had in my life, and I regret not getting another one.
That was another cool night because we were just sort of like we're gonna hang out with TRB people, whatever. We were walking around looking for bars to go to. We went to one bar that was really smoky as all hell because you
I
can
didn't
smoke
realize Japanese people smoke a lot,
you can fire up, yeah, cigarettes inside a lot, I guess, at some of these
and I'm very
establishments.
against
So
smoking. Sorry for people that do smoke, it's just me personally.
So we started walking around, and then we stumble upon this place, the Hub, and we see like Star Wars people. And then Spencer Jowitz from Virtual Cantina Network spotted you, and he's like, "Lacey, come on in here." And we it wound up being that was the Bunta Eve party that they throw.
Mhm, mhm.
So we went in there, we hung out there, and we sort of reconnected with Spencer. And we saw like people we knew there, like Mark Newbold and Fantatrax people, and a lot
Oh
of other
god, I
people.
love Mark. I
And
love
all
Mark
those,
so
and
much.
then playing the solo stuff. And we talked about this on our Japan thing, but I think in that moment, just seeing all that, how that sort of materialized out of nowhere just because we went there, led to really strengthening some relationships and friendships that we have through this space. And with that, we're now going to Rebel ScumCon this August, where their
Yeah.
Virtual Cantina Network is going to be having another Bunta Eve party. So if you're a listener of TRB or you're part of the TRB community, you're thinking about going to Rebel ScumCon this year. It's in August, I believe like August 6th through 8th or something like that. We'll be there, and I'm sure we're going to be doing some level of podcasting. We'll be on the show floors, maybe some
I
interviews,
gotta
but
tell
we'll be
you, there
there.
is a large group of TRB people coming.
Yeah. So join the party. There's people who are TRB people who are already booking their stuff. So
Mhm.
grab your friends, book some flights, book some hotels, and come down and party with us. Since there's no celebration this year, we're going to be doing some fun fan-run convention-style stuff thanks to the awesome people at Rebel ScumCon. So my first time going to Texas, so I'm excited about that. But again, that's
Yeah.
that's sort of one of those things that materialized out of those fateful moments. And we turn that corner, we left that one bar, and all of a sudden we end up at the Hub, and then there we are reconnecting with Spencer and the whole Virtual Cantina team. And
Sliding door moment is what Rob would
yeah,
call it,
as
which was
Rob
so
Coleman said,
beautiful.
right. So that
Yeah.
bar was actually really important for us this year. Just from great moments alone, great memories alone, but also just reconnecting with people that sometimes you lose touch with, or that you only were acquaintances with, and that, really building friendships out of it. And it's all rooted in loving Star Wars, which is just so cool. And
Yeah.
you go to these places and you do these podcasts and you do these things, and all of a sudden you find people that are a lot like you, and it's really cool. So
And just being in
that's a
a
little
bar with Phantom Menace playing and everybody screaming and yelling and carrying on, like, it's just
amazing.
a different vibe.
Yeah,
We're
it was such a great experience. But I think also this year, you know, a part of it to look back on, obviously we haven't even brought up the K2S show, which was really successful. We had a really good turn of viewership on those episodes covering the very serious but incredibly well-made Andor season 2, which I think it's fair to say we both liked season 1, but it wasn't our favorite. But um, we both really dialed into Andor season
Oh
2 and
my
thought it
gosh.
it was
Season
just
2
took it
was
to a new level. Yeah, that was
yeah,
so
whole
fun
'nother
to talk
level.
about and really get into, because we like to have fun on this podcast, but we also get into the serious thematic nature of Star Wars sometimes too, and
Mhm.
that allowed us to tap into that. So I'm really thankful for that and how much fun people had with the K2S show. And James came back and did a guest spot with
Mm.
us, and he actually did 2 guest spots with us this year, and
He
that
did.
was unexpected too. So that was a lot of
Mhm.
fun, and I know our listeners really appreciated that too.
Yeah, it's always good to have him back once in a while when he arrives. I don't know how to put it.
When
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 he's
he
around,
surfaces, yeah,
when he comes back. I do wanna chime in a little bit about Christopher Ford coming on because I can't get over how much of a delight that guy is. Like, he is just so incredibly nice,
yeah,
giving with his
because you never
time,
know.
hilarious, so funny.
Yeah.
And just the fact that I know Skeleton Crew is kind of end of 2024 and then bleeding into this year a little bit. But the fact that we were just, doing our thing per usual, live streaming about it, and he's in the chat like, hey, yeah, I don't. That is what happened. We're like, oh, is that the? And he's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, oh, it is. It is. And he was just so funny that he chimed in, and then he bought a Galactic Goonies shirt. And I remember that whole thing on, I think it was like a Wednesday. You and I were chatting at like 10 a.m. in the morning, and I was like, do you think this is the guy? And you were like, no way, no way. And I was like, I think it's the guy.
Right.
And we were like freaking out. But it's just so nice to have people like that support the show, and Mick too. And just hear from people that are so intelligent and creative on a level that I could never be. Like Mick is just so, the way he speaks about music and how it impacts a project and how he thinks about it is just so interesting. When I asked my dumb question of like, how do you just know what space sounds like? And he's like, well, it's not about what space sounds like, it's how would this person feel in that moment, being in space. And I was like, oh my god, I never would have thought about it that way. And clearly he's talented. He's an award-winning composer now. So but yeah, Christopher Ford revealing that he's two voices in the show. And the funny thing is, I had just rewatched a bunch of scenes and episodes to interview him, and I heard that voice, and I was like, it sounds like him, because I had watched your roundtable with him where you did an interview with him. And then to find out that he did the character that everybody was going nuts about with the hut in the bathhouse episode, it's just moments like that you can't ever imagine they're going to happen.
And him joking about the fan theories and how they had fun watching fans going through the theories,
like
including us on our show.
He would be like, and people would come up with stuff that they'd be like, that's not it, but like, that's a good idea, but like,
he's like, that's clever, but wow, that we weren't thinking that at all. Yeah.
I just want more of him working on Star Wars, more Skeleton Crew, obviously, but I would love any project from him. Yeah.
I think Skeleton Crew was interesting because it was the next show to come out after The Acolyte.
Yeah.
And, The Acolyte wasn't, didn't have a ton of viewership. It wasn't received too warmly with critics or fans. And I know there were fans who really liked it. I'm not taking anything away from that. But I think Skeleton Crew having to come out after that on the same platform might have hurt it a little bit. But
it's literally like Solo after the Last Jedi.
At the Last Jedi, I know. And that's not to say anything against Last Jedi either, but it's just how things shook out with the overall public. But if you take Skeleton Crew in a vacuum and don't worry about when it came out, what it did or whatever, and just take it in again and watch that show, I mean, John Watts and Christopher Ford really had their finger on the pulse in terms of getting the feel of Star Wars and borrowing from those Amblin-style adventures, but making it feel still like Star Wars, but also feeling fresh. And it didn't really... You can make loose connections and stuff like that, because there were the pirates from Mando, and you're wondering like, oh, are these mints more important for the greater picture of the galaxy and stuff like that? But it really, if you're being honest, was a disconnected series with all new characters, new villain, all new adventures, what people have been really asking for a long time. And they hit it. They hit it out of the park. It's a fantastic show. It's a rewatchable show. All ages can watch it. It has whimsy. It has creatures. It has a mystery, but it not too deep. And you get these wonderful little actors putting on these performances alongside one of the most charismatic villains we've gotten in some time, with Jude Law, and of course the pirate. So Skeleton Crew was just a really good time, and the fact that Christopher Ford stumbled upon our show, I don't know if that was from my part in the roundtable with him and John Watts or not, but he does come find the show and then comes on the show, and I couldn't agree more, Lacey. Like, couldn't be a nicer guy. And the same for Mick Giacchino, and how they speak of each other, but everyone else. They say, you don't always want to meet these people who make these things, but in those two instances, I'm really glad I did, because two wonderful people. They are as good, if not better, than the product they put forth for us with Star Wars and Skeleton Crew. So that's certainly a highlight. Two of my favorite interviews we've ever done. And I know it was early in the year. I think it was both were done in January. So it feels it was almost a year ago, but two absolute big time evergreen chat highlights for this podcast and myself was Christopher Ford and Mick Giacchino coming on the pod early last year.
And also a proud moment was getting this design done for Christopher Ford that we then got to send to him and Mick. Mm-hmm. And I was just so happy and proud when they sent us messages about it. And we're like, oh my God, because it was a total surprise. The voiced by Christopher Ford shirt with like his characters on it. And I just like, I'm a big gift giver. I love doing it. So anything time I can come up with some type of fun idea for our guests and stuff, it just makes me really, really happy. And I'm glad they enjoyed it because that's the point. Which I just noticed you're wearing the jacked fish. We've had a bunch of new merch ideas this year.
Check it out.
There it is, the new edition. I like it on the baseball tee. I think it really complements it well.
Look at this.
All right. All right. Tone it down.
Well, I hope Christopher Ford showed up to his family Christmas wearing his shirt that we made for him.
He's just like, it's me. It's me.
I'm the T-shirt. Amazing. But yeah, so obviously our trips, we covered Japan, we covered our trips to San Francisco. Lucasfilm invited us. It was the first time we got an invite to Lucasfilm, and we got to go check out that special Andor screening plus Rogue One. Just a crazy month that we had.
We had a panic supermarket sweep in their store.
Yes, we did, because we had to head over to Skywalker Ranch.
I was literally, I believe, shaking. My hands were shaking and I started sweating because I was like, this is it. This is all. I was like throwing stuff at you. I was like, get this for Kathleen. Get that. And you were like, I don't what? I was like, just buy these things.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And there were other podcasters there and stuff. And I was like, hey, do you think my wife would like this? And they're like, I don't know.
Did she like it, by the way?
Yes. She wears that Yoda thing all the time.
It's such a cute fleece.
Yeah. And the kids still wear, their Lucasfilm T-shirts, and I have my.
It was just really funny because you and I. Here I am, like typical of me. I'm like, I need to get hats. I need to get I'm like going through this checklist. I grabbed a Skeleton Crew T-shirt. I grabbed Rogue One T-shirts. There are only a few left. I'm grabbing stuff and I'm throwing it at John. He's just standing there like this. What up?
Yeah, it was one of those things where you're so overloaded with the lack of time you have and the amount of things that you need to do in that moment that I just seized and I was like, I'm finished.
I had a pile in my hands that the guy at the desk came over and was like, do you want me to hold those for you? See, I was like, yes, please. Thank you so much. But it was really funny. It was just a crazy, crazy year. And moments like that are not lost on the fact that you guys, listeners, patrons, etc., have gotten us to these points, have gotten us to the crazy dinner at Disney.
Absolutely.
Have gotten us to, interviewing people like Christopher Ford or meeting Rob Coleman in a bar in Japan after constantly trying to speak to him. We did a roundtable with him and none of our questions got asked. I was like, this is terrible.
Oh yeah.
And I tried to talk to him at the panel and they like ushered him away and I was like, So then
the universe had other ideas.
It did. It's so weird how that happens. But yeah, I mean, looking ahead, I guess, is there anything else you want to talk about for this year? I mean, the second half of the year literally like flew by and we did a lot of cool creative things and the whole Ben Solo story came out, Hunt for Ben Solo, which is kind of like the big thing.
That was huge. Those are some of our more popular episodes too. The people came back out of the woodwork who may have checked out a bit post the end of Ben Solo's story or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole thing is wild. And it was a weird year in Star Wars because you had the celebration, you had the end of obviously Skeleton Crew, but you had Andor, and then it was like Visions and like Young Jedi Adventures and stuff. So the second half of the year was more of like, all right, what's being made now. So a lot of our second half of the year was like really trying to dig into what's going on with the future. And now we're starting to see that formulate. I just saw today, Lacey, I don't know if you saw, I don't know if it was confirmed or not, but because it might not be, but that they might be doing Mandalorian and Grogu Happy Meals in May at McDonald's.
Shut the front door. Really?
I saw that and I was on the go and I couldn't like investigate the truth of it, but so I'm not positive.
Oh my God.
But I'm trying to find it now. Grogu Happy Meals.
I can't believe that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It seems like Disney is like really kind of trying to figure out what to do because they see Lilo and Stitch as like their main win of the year. And I think Lilo and
Yes.
Stitch was just everywhere. Which is why I strongly believe they're gonna have Grogu like walking around movie theaters and stuff and like sitting in the popcorn bucket like they did with Lilo. Or not Lilo, Stitch.
That would be really cool. So I saw that on that account that just posts all Mandalorian updates, Mandoverse updates. I don't see a confirmation on that, but usually that account's good for some updates. So don't lock it in; it's not official, but keep your eye on it. Maybe we're getting a return to those things that we had talked about. Should be happening. Which
I'm pointing at Matt to get something for me so we can talk about collectibles we got this year.
Oh, right on.
End of the Black bookshelf. Right there. Right there. Right there. Down. Yeah. 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 Because I feel like that's something we should talk about this year. Like, what did we get?
True. I didn't get much aside from the merch we got at the Lucasfilm Skywalker Ranch. I did enjoy picking up the Japanese vinyls of the Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what I have right here that I was going to show on camera. So, not to cut you off from the Happy Meals, but this looks kind of Happy Meal-ish. This is like the big thing that I was like really excited to get. I got it from eBay though. I didn't get it in Japan. I should have, but I didn't. And then what else did I get? I got all these records. So this is like a record player cover that goes above, like when you don't have a record on.
Yep.
And then these things, like so sick. This is the thing that when they announced it via like exhibitors, like their newsletter and on the website, I immediately was like, we're getting these. And luckily, thank God, we had VIP badges. So we got in a little earlier than everybody else, and I made you go immediately to this location. I'm glad we did because they sold out like the first day.
Yeah.
Remember, you were like, I believe you did the same thing. You were like, should I get them? And I'm like, yes.
That was the one thing I was gonna get if I was gonna get anything, and I believe it. Yeah, it was Star Wars and Empire. They didn't do Jedi, right?
Yeah, it was really weird. They didn't do Jedi. They did not do Jedi. Yeah. Weird. Very weird.
Yeah.
Because I love that record.
I don't know that I have much else for collectibles. Did you have anything else that comes to mind?
So like I'm really behind on opening things, so I'm probably gonna open things soon, but I got this Lucky Grogu. So it's the Grogu that goes like this, like a lucky cat from the show store.
Yep.
And I mean, can we talk about this for a second? This is all the stuff you guys gave me from the swag.
Show. Yeah. Pins,
yes.
Stickers,
which is one
patches.
of the best. Yeah. Which is one of the best things about the celebration is just the stuff people hand you.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm like obsessed. And the Japanese fans did not play when it came to swag. Like they brought like full A game swag.
Yes. There were even interactive ones and stuff like that. It was really cool.
It was very, very cool.
One thing. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and then the other thing is I went to a toy show in May, which is where I got John's Christmas present, but I ended up getting like an old school Vader, and I got this ceramic. I don't know if you can see it. It's like behind me, kind of. You can't really see it. Right here, this guy. And he lights up and he blinks lights. Yeah, and cool. I mean, I wouldn't say I got like a ton of stuff like previous years. I feel like I've changed in my collection ways to stuff that like you can't find. Like I want the kind of weird, cool stuff that you see and you're like, wow, that's kind of weird. I buy it.
Yeah.
Because I've been through the Hasbro figures and stuff, and I feel like, I don't know, they just don't feel as cool anymore to me. But that's just me.
Yeah, I've never been. I mean, in my adult life, I'm never like have been a huge collector or anything like that. So usually it's if if someone sends me something, or if there's a special thing like in Japan with the vinyls, I'm like, oh, I gotta get these because these are like a once in a
Yeah.
lifetime grab.
Yeah.
I'll do that. But yeah, it is always fun to see what people are into and what they get, and people trade things. And even in our own community, people are like, hey, I'll pick you up one of these things and send you that. And it's just
Oh
really
my
cool that
gosh,
people
they're
are able to
so
pick each other
good.
up.
Yeah, they're so good about
Um,
that.
One thing that I don't think we talk about enough, and I'm not necessarily saying to pat ourselves on the back here, but I mean, our consistency this year, we didn't really take many breaks. We had a crazy April with the Japan trip and everything that was leading up to that. And then immediately we go to San Francisco, and before you know it, half the year's over.
Yeah.
And we did
Yeah.
those live shows for Skeleton Crew. We did the live show for Andor, and it's a lot. And then sometimes you have that podcaster guilt where you're like, did we do enough this year? Did we do enough? And it's like, when I first started thinking about this episode and like looking back, I'm like, man, I don't know if we did enough this year. And then I look back and I really started going through everything, and I'm like, how did we do all of that? With
We launched a whole new show, like a store and everything. Like we
we
launched
had
all this new merch, all new store,
the new website. Yeah, so I
whole
think we
new
did a
collection for
lot.
Tokyo, like all
Yeah,
these new
and
logos.
for
Yeah.
the fact that we both are married, we both have kids, we both have other work we do, full-time jobs, and we really only took like maybe one or two breaks, including for the holidays. And I really just, you see new podcasts spotting up every once in a while, and you see podcasts come and go, and I'm proud of the fact that somehow we're able to stay consistent, and we're able to just be here pretty much every week with two podcast episodes every week. One dedicated to Star Wars, of course, with the Resistance broadcast, and Nerdy and Nice, which we'll talk about on Nerdy Nice, of course, but had its first full calendar year, and we saw growth with that show too. So now don't want to talk too much about Nerdy Nice here, but it is a part of what we're doing. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who listens to TRB, who also listens to Nerdy and Nice, because if you're like me and Lacey, you have just as much fun with all this other nerdy, geeky type of content, movies, TV, pop culture stuff. And it's been fun doing both shows because it allows us to clean the palate, do Nerdy and Nice. And then when we get back into talking about Star Wars, we get so into our Star Wars mode. And the fact that people have been embracing that show, in addition to us still doing an episode every week in what I would consider the second half of the year being almost like a quieter time for Star Wars, and people still turning up to listen, it just really means a lot. And I just want to say thank you. No matter how you take in the show, whether it's I check every once in a while, I check in if there's a hot news story, Ben Solo, Adam Driver, that's cool too. Like it means a lot, and we do put a lot of work in, and I'm really proud of our consistency, but a lot of that is because you keep tuning in and listening. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, it was really cool in the fall, outside of the Ben Solo stuff, which was nuts. And like when that came up, I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then I felt like once again, it was like all of a sudden all these people are coming out of the woodwork talking about Ben Solo. And I was like, we've been here. We've been here talking about Jabba the Hutt in a hotel room. Like,
yes, we have.
We're still here, which was my point, which is that week we did that like jokey episode where you pitched that like crazy scenario of like who you'd want to share a hotel room with. And you actually said you would share a hotel room with Jabba the Hutt. And we got so many comments that like people were just laughing, listening.
Yeah.
And I think those are my favorite moments when you guys either email us or message us or comment or whatever, that you're like, I couldn't stop laughing this full conversation, because that's why we do it. That's why we sit here and talk about ridiculous things and mock each other and love Star Wars, is because I think everybody needs a little break here and there from life. And talking about Jabba the Hutt being smelly and rank in a hotel room that John would seemingly sleep next to is just wild.
I forget what my reasons were, but I think the other options were Jar Jar and Jawas, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, you said Jawas would go through your stuff, and
they would steal my stuff.
You said Jar Jar wouldn't shut up, and I said that's fine because I'd convince him that he should be in the bath, or go sleep in the bathtub, or sleep on the balcony, or do whatever.
I remember because I said Jabba would make sure we were upgraded to a suite, and he would have his own little quarters, so I wouldn't have to worry about smelling him. That was the most genius pick in the world, Jabba the Hutt. That's perfect pick. 100%.
See, but that's a loophole though, because
Star Wars.
You're talking about one room.
Isn't it?
One room.
Gross.
Blech.
We also made an unofficial bet to end the year, which was
we did.
You are 100% convinced that Rey's showing up in Starfighter, and I said 0%.
I do believe that.
Yeah. So we haven't officially made a bet on that. I don't know if we should. It's very far away.
We can.
But if we were going to make it, it'd have to be now before more like tea leaves start spreading news about.
Okay. I stand by it.
So here's the thing. How do we do a bet on this?
Well, I feel like people like the pie bets.
Yeah, you don't like the pie bets because you lose the pie bets and then you get the pie in the face. And then...
I've done it both times. I didn't complain. I did it. I helped buy the materials.
I believe both times you were like, I couldn't breathe. So we'll have to give you a breathable pie.
Well, the first time I really couldn't. Like if you go back and watch that video, like James really got that meringue in there. Like it was a very thick, like not like there was no air coming through that gooey meringue.
But
lemon
the London
custard.
one, you're on video saying you can't breathe. So
because I laughed before I got pied. So like I went because I like was stupid and breathed out before. Like, you know, it's like when you jump in water, you don't breathe out before you jump in water.
Yeah.
That was just a stupid mistake. No, James definitely pied me in a way that like I was going to die. like I was.
Well, then maybe we do a pie bet on this and we'll just have to remember that we agreed to doing a pie bet.
Cal Baker, if you're listening, mark this down on your calendar, bud, that a pie bet has been made. Rey will show up in Starfighter.
Kyle, the pie baker, hold us to this. So, yeah. So Lacey's saying 100%.
We're going to have to do the Mandalorian quiz again because we've done quizzes for all the movies and stuff.
We will do a movie quiz giveaway contest for sure. We'll put a nice big package together as the giveaway grand prize. Basically what we do is we say, it's sort of like Will of the Force. I think it was the thing that maybe, I don't know if Will of the Force came before it or not.
Yeah.
I don't know that it did, but basically like, will this happen? Will this happen? Will this happen? Will this happen? And then we score it, and whoever gets the most right wins the grand prize. But yeah, we should definitely do that.
I'm really excited for Rebel Scum Con, by the way.
I'm very excited for Rebel Scum Con. Are you kidding me? I'm excited for a lot of things.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited.
We're thinking about doing in 2026. But yeah, that's going to be fun. I've never been to Texas, so I'm very excited to see what that's all about.
I have been once. No, twice. I lied. I've been to South by Southwest, and then I've also been to Fort Hood, Texas.
Where's Fort Hood?
I think middle of Texas. Middle. It's a military base.
And where are we going? Like near Dallas, right? Like
outside of Dallas. Yeah.
I really want to go to Dealey Plaza. I want to check out where Kennedy was shot.
And we said we were going to get barbecue.
Yeah, I got to get some barbecue.
Yeah, got to get barbecue. And I want to try Whataburger. Whataburger is a very Texas thing.
Is it? Can you get a Whataburger in like Connecticut or New York?
No.
No?
It's Texas.
All right, then we'll do that. Yeah, I'm very excited for that because there are a lot of TRB people going, but a lot of other people we know. I know Will Diamond is probably going to be there. Obviously, the Virtual Cantina crew is going to be there. The people who run Rebel Scum Con, and there's going to be a ton of actors and personalities from Star Wars.
Paul's going.
I'm very excited. Paul Sun-Young Lee's going to that?
Yes, I have to reach out to him. I want to politely give him the biggest hug because I feel like I've been there since day one, Paul. You and me, Paul.
Yeah. I've never been to a Star Wars convention that wasn't Celebration. So I'm really excited for that element of it too, like a fan run, you know, really accessible type of convention. And you know, the whole deal of going to Texas to do that in between celebration years, it's going to be great. And also, like you said before, just seeing a lot of the people that from the TRB community, like it's become this little family now, and it really does mean a lot. It makes being away from home a lot easier because I do get homesick, especially when I was in Japan. I was like, what day is it? Like it's a different day.
I'm very excited that we're on like our, only a couple
It'll
hours
be an hour
behind.
difference Central Time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So Ray Park is going, Giancarlo Esposito, Denise Gao, who was Deidre, and then also Kyle, who is Cyril Karn, aka Kyle from Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Kyle Solar.
Woo!
Yeah,
He's going.
very
And then
cool.
Paul. I'm so excited to meet Paul. I can't wait.
Yeah, and for 2026, leading up to that, we're probably going to have people from that convention on the show, I imagine, to help
Oh yeah.
promote it, but
Yeah.
also just make sure everyone who's thinking about going or aware of it. It really does feel like I think it's their third one, so it's still early on for a convention, but it's definitely growing, and we're very excited to finally join the party and be a part of it this year. So
Can't
uh,
wait.
early August, Rebel Scum Con, we will be there. Get tickets, come hang out, find TRB, wear a TRB shirt. I don't care. Come hang out with us and let's have a good time. Celebrating Star Wars at a fan convention in Texas. Let's go. It's so exciting.
I know, and I think it's gonna get big this year because like you said, there's no celebration. I
No
think people are
celebration.
looking
Right.
for things to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and for leading up to the Mandalorian and Grogu, we haven't really talked about it, but I'm sure maybe we'll do some special Mando fan shows, counting down or something like
Oh
that,
yeah.
for that movie to come out. So we'll do some special live streams dedicated to the Mandalorian. Probably not like full rewatch types of things, but just getting back into that Mando mode and getting excited. Maybe have some guests
Maybe
on
like a
to do that with
rewatch of
us, but
like season 1, season 2,
like
season
a
3.
revisit of season 1, a revisit of season
Yeah.
2, touch on Boba Fett here. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just get back into the spirit of Mando and things. By the way, did you see? I guess I don't know if it was officially released or not, but the slightly different trailer, we haven't really had a chance to talk about it. That's playing in front of Avatar, I guess.
Slightly
Um,
different. I think it was only like 2 extra shots or something. Someone had
I
broken it down how many shots it was. It looked pretty similar to what we saw at Celebration.
the one thing that's different is there is a scene. Kyle Baker had initially told us about this at our holiday party, but there is a scene that it starts with actual dialogue between Mando and Grogu, and Mando's teaching Grogu how to properly have his armor. And he's like, you gotta
Mm.
have it like
Mhm.
this. You gotta do like
Mhm.
this. And it's like a father dressing his son for school sort of thing, which is really cute. But so that bond's gonna be there. But then I think a couple of the other shots had to do with the Dejarik pieces that are fighting in the arena. So there's gonna be more of that action. So I'm getting excited for it. I hope more people are getting excited for it. But that's gonna be a big part of our first half of the year. And then of course, I believe in summer Shadow Lord comes out. So I'm
Mhm.
excited for that as well. Sam Witwer's return to lead a Star Wars animated show for Maul. I'm very excited for that to hit Disney Plus. So 2026 is going to be very exciting. The only thing, Lacey, I'm not sure about is, unless I'm just behind on the news, is we're not sure when Ahsoka's landing. And if it is
We
2026, you'd have
don't.
to imagine late summer, early fall, probably. It would be my
Yeah, we
guess.
don't. We don't know
Yeah.
when it's gonna end up airing. I'm very interested with that show because of how Ray Stevenson's not in it anymore. So how they're gonna
I
handle that.
know. Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm interested to see where they go from here because as the seasons kind of sat with us and then Star Wars fans in general, I have seen a lot of critiques of Sabine's journey in particular of like,
I have
how is
too.
she a Jedi?
Yeah.
How is this possible? So I trust Dave Filoni's going to have a story he wants to tell, whether people want to hear it or not. That's
Well,
the question.
wasn't it? It was Dan Gilroy, the writer, one of the writers on Rebels,
Yes, we just
who,
talked about this, who was like,
yeah,
she never would have been a Jedi.
we never
So
had a
it's just
plan to make
tough.
her a Jedi. Yeah,
It's a tough place right now for Star Wars because you have a lot of conflicting views. And I think the Ben Solo thing kind of hurt them a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like all that stuff kind of hurt Lucasfilm and Disney. Less Lucasfilm because Disney was the one that said no to it, but I mean they're still kind of all intertwined in a way. Yeah.
before we get out of here and wrap this show up, I want to
Yeah.
ask you two things.
Okay.
One, do you have any parting thoughts for 2025 from the podcast perspective or Star Wars? And two, do you have one bold prediction for Star Wars in 2026 of something we don't know? Like, is it going to be an announcement, a
Oh.
movie filming that we don't know, Simon Kinberg trilogy details? Like, so
Oh my
parting thoughts
goodness.
for 2025. And do you have any, like, your biggest bold prediction of something we'll learn from Star Wars in 2026?
My parting thoughts for 2025 is that as someone that has changed, not just as a person, but as a Star Wars fan, I would say over the past 3 to 4 years with having children and changing my career and all these other things, I feel like I'm kind of exploring Star Wars differently now. Like not just with my collecting, but I'm attempting to kind of rewatch the movies and fall back in love with it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
For a while there, and I'm sure you feel the same way, John, as a podcaster, it's just like you're constantly reacting and you're constantly giving your input on things and quickly moving on to the next thing and trying to find these Easter eggs and doing these things. And I've really appreciated this past year, especially the last 6 months, where I have time to sit with things longer and really think about them,
Yeah.
and come at them from a different point of view than I would have probably a year before, where I was like, go, 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 go. Also, I appreciate that I and we collectively um, explore Star Wars and do our podcast the way we want to do it. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
worried like I used to be of, oh, we got to do this and we have to react to this. And, we got to keep up with this person or that person. And what if we're doing these things wrong? I think it just comes with experience and, not to date myself, but like age as you get older and you
I
have
agree
kids
with
and
that.
stuff, that
I'm
it
glad
really
you brought
kind
that up.
of humbles you a bit in a good way of really leaning into what is important.
I agree
And
completely.
we've had a lot of conversations with people that have made Star Wars, are a part of Star Wars, love Star Wars, that would have been great episodes. But we didn't make them episodes because we valued them more as memories and moments and experiences rather than just kind of constantly putting out content. The big word, content. So I think this year I kind of took a step back more from social media and just the world of constantly pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing in Star Wars, and just kind of spent more time loving it and thinking about it and enjoying it. And I would stress that in 2026, my goal is to continue to, one, make content, but quality over quantity, I would say, is my goal for 2026, is to continue to put out great, awesome, quality episodes for you guys and not feel the need to constantly push for small videos all the time and this and that and everything. Because it takes away from what the point is. And the point is to share our thoughts and feelings and inputs and experiences about this galaxy far, far away.
And
So,
our honest thoughts and opinions about it.
yes, and
Like,
trust me, this past year I've noticed that I've been a lot more probably honest and negative than I have been in previous years, because that's just where
yeah,
I'm at. And we've seen the comments, we've seen the reviews, we've seen
sure.
people send us stuff on social media and via email. We've gotten some lengthy emails about how we're negative now and how people don't like this and they don't like that. And first of all, I never want anybody to feel uncomfortable listening to anything that I have to say
No.
or any type of podcast that I put out. That is never my goal or intention. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie and say that something's amazing if I don't think that. Do we oftentimes, I would say 85% of the time, focus on what we love and why we like it? Yes. But there's also that 10 to 15% of, hey, this is what I have problems with and why. And generally speaking, I'm not just sitting here being like, this sucks because I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, I usually give you guys some answers like, hey, it doesn't fit into the bigger scheme of things. It doesn't make sense for that character. It doesn't, you know what I mean? So I think I'm going to lean into it, but also continue that progression of evolving as a creator of, hey, this is who I am now. I'm not the same person I was 5, 6 years ago, and that's okay. I've grown from my own experiences, and my own love of Star Wars has evolved. And I'm glad that you guys have stuck around with us for that, because you and us are collectively growing together throughout this whole process of Star Wars. So I look
Well
forward
put.
to exploring that more and being happier offline.
Yeah.
I would stress that, we have a lot of plans to have guests come on and go to Rebel Scum Con and do all these things. But I can't stress it enough that, like, take more breaks offline. It's only going to benefit you and the people around you. And I know it's benefited me. I'm a happier, nicer person than I was at
Yeah, I
times when
am.
things were really stressful. And yeah, I can be more caring and put out a better, I hate to say the word product, but it is a better podcaster product for you guys when I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, and I think overall for the podcast itself, I am I'm grateful the fact that this podcast can sustain without that social media element in a way. Like, we have our audience that, they listen to us. They're a core audience that shows up every week, that probably a lot of them aren't on social media and stuff like
And it
that.
means so
So
much to us. Yeah.
yeah. So that we don't take lightly. And also, that's like, you know, I wouldn't, and I'm sure Lacey would not do this podcast if we want to enjoy what we're doing. And part of that is just being honest. And, you have the microphone, you have the voice, and for some reason, we have those people that want to listen to us. I'm not going to sit there and hit record and then say things that I don't really feel about this stuff. And we do get critical sometimes, but we do it in adult ways, which is respectful. But most of the time, we do focus on the things we love, like Lacey said. But you're always going to get our honest opinions about things. So when you hit play on a TRB episode, you're going to get how we really feel just as much as how we feel when the light goes off and you meet us at a convention and we're talking about it. We're always going to be friendly. We're always going to be respectful. We're always going to do things the right way. But we're going to give our honest opinions about Star Wars, which, like Lacey said, 85% of the time, it's leaning into the stuff we love. But when Bob Iger rejects Ben Solo, we're going to talk about it. And that's what we do. So
yeah, I think what makes it even more fun is because we are honest and sometimes we are a little bit critical about things, especially recently. But when we are hyped on something, it makes it even more fun because we're being genuine. We're not hyping you up just to hype you up about something. Like, if we love it, we genuinely love it. And this past year with Celebration and our trip to San Francisco and like any other in between conversation with you guys, it's one of the greatest compliments I get on a regular basis is that I am exactly the person that you listen to. I can't tell you guys enough. When you tell me that, you're like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm listening to an episode talking to you. Well, yes, because it's me. And I'm not putting on a personality, and I never have. I'm not doing some type of bit or thing. I am who I am. And I really appreciate people that tell me that it's like sitting with friends and listening to us chat and laugh and have fun. And just like friends or family, there are times that you aren't happy with said thing, and that's okay. Yeah. But the fact that you guys come up to us at conventions and are like, oh my God, you are exactly the same. Yes, we are. And we appreciate it. And that goes to say also to people that are unhappy with us at times, that's okay too. We understand that you're not going to agree with us every single conversation, and that's normal. But we hope that you stick around to hear more, because oftentimes it doesn't stay with that thing that you don't like. I promise.
And we're here to have a good time in the end. And that's what it's all about. All right, Lacey, bold prediction. Do you have any? One bold prediction. What's happening?
Donald Glover is welcoming back Alden Ehrenreich for a solo movie.
That is a bold prediction. Wow.
Cheers.
I haven't thought about the Lando thing in a while. I know he's recovering from the stroke he had a year ago. That would be amazing. Holy cow. I hope that comes true. I hope you absolutely nail that bold prediction. Or at the very least, he comes back and says Lando's a go and Han and Chewie are here and it's Alden and Jonas. I'm going to say that.
Can I add another one really quick? Sorry. Can I add one more? One more. Can I do one more? I think Adam Driver's coming back for the Rey movie.
Okay.
And I think they're going to announce that this spring because Bob is really hurting right now. I think the reworking is adding Adam back in.
I think that Simon Kinberg's trilogy will begin filming this year. And I think I don't know how they're going to handle it, but I have a feeling they're going to film all 3 movies at the same time.
Do you think it's a saga or do you think it's not saga?
I think it's a new saga. I think it's a new saga, a new trilogy.
I'm saying, or do you think it's 10, 11, 12, or do you think it's completely different?
I think whatever Rey is doing will be episode 10 eventually. Mm-hmm. And it will be 10, 11, and 12. I wouldn't be surprised if something starts happening with that soon, but I think the Kinberg thing is going to start its own new saga. And I think they're going to start filming that this year. And I think they're going to do the Lord of the Rings thing and film it all in one shot and have this whole thing sort of planned out. They probably won't do that because they don't like taking risks like that. But that's a bold prediction. So there it is, bold. That's what you do with bold predictions.
Can I say something else kind of weird? I've been thinking about. So the Starfighter stuff, we talked about it weeks ago about reworking the final act, and he said it very specifically of something didn't work out, so we had to rewrite it.
Yeah, some things didn't align or whatever. Yeah.
Do you think that it had to do with Adam?
Adam Driver?
Yeah. And it went into the Ben Solo stuff.
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
Nothing to do with it.
Then why would I don't know. It's just weird to me the way he said it.
Why would it?
It's just weird that the way he said it is just very strange to me. Maybe it's a Rey thing. Maybe it's something. The way he's like, he had said, oh, it didn't pan out the way we wanted it to. To me, says they couldn't get someone.
My guess is maybe
unless it's like a budgetary thing.
The Starfighter dies, and Disney's like, the early buzz about this movie is too good. You can't kill him. Like, oh, okay.
You can't kill every Star Wars character.
We can't kill Ryan Gosling. All right. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I don't think it's that. But
anyway,
all right. So a nice fun hour recapping 2025. For extensive recaps on all the stories we talked about, we do have an episode fully recapping our Japan trip to Star Wars Celebration, our chat with Rob Coleman. We also have a episode dedicated to our trip to San Francisco for Lucasfilm and Skywalker Ranch. So be sure to check those. And of course, the interviews with Christopher Ford, Mick Giacchino, the Galactic Goonies show, the K2S show, all the stuff we did. Go back and check it out.
James's random returns.
James's 2 random returns. He came back for, I don't know if it was a State of Star Wars or something like that, but he also came back for one of the...
It was K2SO.
K2S show.
K2S show, sorry. And then it was the Ben Solo episode.
Oh, right. It was the Ben Solo story in the fall. That's right. So we'll see. Maybe James comes back again, 2026. We'll find out if his submarine surfaces and we can have him dock with the base and pop in and hang out. But
it's like one of those weird legends. They're like, on the 4th moon.
Yeah, Danny returned. Yeah. He's become like our Boba Fett. Like we're like people are like, oh, we got another dose of Danny. All right.
James Danny will return in Avengers Doomsday.
Right. James knows where to find us, so I'm sure he will be back at some point. But Lacey, let's wrap it up here. Where can people find you to talk about 2025 and what's ahead in Star Wars in 2026?
People can find me on social media at Lacey Gillerin on TikTok, which I really don't update that often, but I'm there at It's Lacey Gillerin. And definitely check out our store, trbpodcast.com. We have a bunch of new merch up there. We have our coffee, of course, weirdbrothers.com, Resistance Brew. Check those out. And stay tuned for more stuff from us. We're going to have new merch, new other things, and new year, new me, right? Not really.
New year, same us, but different
same us.
Yeah, in a good way.
Older, more gray,
wiser, smarter, maybe. We'll see. Goofier at times, but yeah. Lacey did all the plugs. Thank you to all our patrons, patreon.com/TRB podcast. If you're thinking about joining, sign up and be a part of the base for 2026. It's a really good time. We have a lot of things that we're working on behind the scenes for our plans for 2026 with Patreon in addition to the podcast and everything. But for me, Johnny Hoey on Blue Sky and Nerdy Nice with Lacey, as always, Nerdy Nice Pod, and find Nerdy Nice on its own podcast feed, separate from the Resistance broadcast. Both video versions of everything we do for TRB is on the TRB YouTube channel as well. But that is it for us. Happy New Year to everybody. Here's to another amazing year for the podcast, another amazing year for Star Wars. And until next time, we'll see you right here on the Resistance broadcast. See you around, kids.